Welcome back to Aztecs Now. We were with Coach Brady Hoke a couple of years ago. I was kind of tired, and so they took a year off, and now we are back. And boy, should have had it last year, that's for sure. 9-4, best Aztec season in a long, long time. Bowl game, first time in a long, long time. And Brady Hoke has moved on, and Rocky Long is with us now. Rocky, I have to ask you this because, and we haven't discussed this, you and I really thought that when you left New Mexico, you seemed to have no ego, as in, hey, I don't need to be the head coach. I can do other stuff. I love to coach defense. I'll coach defense. You didn't expect to be here doing this, did you?
Not at all. I mean, I was shocked, pleasantly surprised, I guess, as someone was willing to give me another chance. But the last 2 years, I've had a lot of fun. You know, when you're an assistant coach, you get to do a lot more coaching. You get to be around the kids a lot more than you do as the head coach.
Mm-hmm. And you know, I mean, there is ego involved. I mean, in this, your profession and my profession, there is that I'm the head coach, I'm in charge, I want everything done my way. This is the way it's going to be for practice, this is the way it's going to be for television shows, radio, everything. And then you are an assistant, and you didn't mind that in terms of not doing the other stuff. I'm not sure you like the other stuff that much, except the coaching part.
Well, I like the coaching part, but, you know, I didn't mind. And hopefully I'm going to be a better head coach this time because I got to sit back and watch someone else do it with the knowledge of what head coaches do. And I thought Brady did some really good things, and every once in a while, now he didn't do everything right, but he did some really good things, and I'd be sitting in the room watching him work, and I go, boy, why didn't I think of that, you know? So hopefully I've learned some stuff from him that will make me a better head coach.
How are you, if you're going to grade and give us an analysis of you, and I don't mean to degrade Brady at all, he did a great job, how are you different from him? The kind of things that, you know, I saw that, we're not going to do that, I want to do it this way. Is there a difference?
Well, there's a difference on how you handle a team, but him and I have the exact same philosophy on how the game's supposed to be played. And the game's supposed to be played hard. It's supposed to be played tough. You got to be able to run the ball, and you got to be able to stop the run. I mean, all the other things come with it, but him and I have the exact same philosophy on a program and how it should be run. Now, I think obviously we have different personalities.
Sure.
You know, because we played different positions in college. We were coached by different people. Obviously, I don't have the Michigan influence that he had. There's a lot of things we did, like Bo Schembechler, which isn't bad.
Yeah.
But some of those things are gone for sure. But I think we just had a little bit different. We have a little different personality, but our philosophies are exactly the same.
You were a quarterback and a good one. He was a linebacker. He has you're right. Personality. He has a linebacker personality,
right.
And you have a quarterback one.
Well, I hope not. You know, I've been coaching on defense so long.
Good point.
I played a little defensive back too, so hopefully I have a defensive back's mentality.
Hey, Rock, take us to fall practice in terms of from the spring to where you are now. Are you happy with, when you looked at that, I need to get this from here to spring to here, is it where you want it to be in the fall?
Not yet. In the spring, we were looking for some wide receivers and some depth in the defensive line. The wide receivers are better now than they were in the spring, and I thought the wide receivers had a great day yesterday. So that's a good sign, getting ready for the game.
Right.
The defensive line, the young guys have worked really hard, and they're better now than they were in the spring. They're not as good as we want them to be. The receivers aren't as good as they want them to be, but the work ethic has been better than I expected. The attitude's better than I expected. The want-to's better than I expected. And as long as that's there, we're going to get to where we want to be.
I know it's agonizing. It has to be for Aztec fans, if I can speak for them, and I don't mean to be presumptuous to do so. When you have a Ryan Lindley and you lose DeMarco and you lose Vincent and then Dominic Sandifer gets hurt, I mean, they're very concerned that you have the receivers to be there for one of the best quarterbacks in the country.
Right, and Ryan is one of the better quarterbacks in the country, and I think he's improved every year. His leadership ability is amazing, and this is his team. Now we do have great tight ends. We got several of them, and they can all catch the ball. There might not be as many deep bombs completed as a year ago, but I'm sure there's going to be as many passes caught, maybe more, and hopefully be as effective in the passing game.
In terms of scheming, you have fullbacks, and Chad Young looked good last year, I thought, and you have all these tight ends. Are you going to have to change schemes to get these tight ends as split them? Chargers did that with Kellen Winslow forever. Split out the tight ends and use them as receivers?
Yeah, we're going to change the scheme some to use those because that's the most depth we have on the team, and they're all really good players. So you'll see two of them in there a lot. Sometimes you'll see three of them in there. Sometimes you'll see four of them. And then a couple of those guys have enough speed to go on the outside and play wide receiver, play in the slot. And speaking from a defensive point, it's hard to match up with a guy that's 6'5" and 245 or 50 pounds that can run and catch. You put a DB on him, most DBs can stay with him, but they can't get to the ball.
Right.
You put a linebacker on him, now they're strong enough to handle him, but they can't stay with them speed-wise. So, yeah, there's some good matchups that we're exploring.
This is good. Rocky, this defense, you're known for this, the 3-3-5. When you first started with this group that you guys inherited, did you hold back stuff? Were there things you couldn't do and go all out? Because I remember I sat through the 70-7 game in 08. I'll never forgive you for this. And broadcasted that when New Mexico beat the Aztecs and Rockies last year. Are you doing everything in this package now? Are they really grasping it much better? Does it take time to do that?
It takes a lot of time. And you're not really there until the whole program has grown up in the system. Mm-hmm. We're so much better now than we were 2 years ago, and our seniors understand the scheme really well. So we're doing a lot more things now than we did last year or the year before that. But you can adjust the scheme to take advantage of your better players. Mm-hmm. So there's some things we're going to do because I think we're really good at linebacker. We're probably not, right now we're not as good in the D-line. We're probably a little bit better in the secondary because we had a lot of freshmen last year that played all last year. They're a lot better. So we got to take advantage, just like on offense with tight ends, we got to take more advantage of our linebackers than we did a year ago in stunts and blitzes and all that. And we got to put more pressure on the secondary to be in more man coverage.
This special teams, we've seen some good ones here, some All-American types through the years. But in terms of Abel and in terms of Brian Stahovich, that seems to be covered. Good special teams guys.
Yeah.
Good punter, good kicker.
Yeah, both kickers are punters and kicker. They're both good. Abel's a really good kicker. I think Brian is one of the best punters in the country. And then everybody forgets about our deep snapper, Aaron Brewer. I mean, you know, if you don't have him, none of that works.
Right.
I've gone through a spring practice without a deep snapper one time. You couldn't hardly even practice special teams. So all three of them together, they're all seniors, but it's good for this year.
Yeah, in terms of close games, you got to feel good as an Aztec fan in terms of winning those close games. And my gosh, I noticed that a lot of that and all close games last year, nobody blew this team out. Close losses at TCU and here against Utah and 3 points at BYU. I mean, it was 9-4. Could have easily been undefeated, and that's a fact. That is a fact. And then the handling of Navy handily in the Poinsettia Bowl. We will continue here, by the way. Aztecs Now, Cal Poly. That's coming up. That's the opener. It's a must-win, obviously, based on the history between the Aztecs and Cal Poly. We'll discuss more of that as Aztecs Now continues with head coach Rocky Long momentarily.
So here's Hillman. Hillman getting the edge. Lifts it. Touchdown.
On the shotgun, Ryan has time. Can he find somebody? One-hand grab. Gavin Escobar. Touchdown, Aztecs. Back with head coach Rocky Long at Aztecs Now. Cal Poly's coming up. It's a new year. It's a new coaching staff in terms of head coach. Several assistants are back from last year, but several are not. And you've got Daniel Hernandez on safeties. You've got Osei Lewis, defensive line, where Brady used to handle things. And these are a couple of guys I just mentioned. It's good, isn't it, that you had these guys in New Mexico, that you're comfortable with guys like that you trust and added to the staff.
Well, it's good because they understand the scheme already. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to coach coaches.
Right.
The coaches can walk right in and start coaching the players, and I think that's important. And both of them are very good coaches too, by the way. And I think we were very lucky to keep the guys that stayed, Tony White, LaCharles McDaniels, and Brian Sipe. I thought them staying helped us in recruiting. But we've got really good coaches on our staff.
This 3-3-5, Rocky, by the way, is it really, really difficult to grasp for coaches and players? It's so different.
Well, it's not as unique as it used to be. If you watch the NFL now, a lot of the NFL are using it in nickel situations or passing situations. If you haven't been around it before, it's confusing, and it takes a while to grasp it, more for a player than a coach because the coach has a little experience. If you just watch it, everybody says you don't play gap control, and everybody's talking about gap control. Well, we do play gap control. They just don't know who's in whose gap.
Well said. Well said. The leadership in this club. I mean, Ryan Lindley would come to my mind, and Miles Burris would come, number 9, who I thought had a marvelous season. Is that role? Are you okay in terms of the guys that you wanted to step up and be that on the field, so you can, hey, these guys will police themselves in the locker room and on the field. I don't have to do that. Is that happening?
It is, and we do it with our whole senior class, and the senior class has done a great job. I mean, I put a lot of pressure on them to keep the team under control and working hard. If the team's not doing what they're supposed to do, I blame the seniors. They know that.
Right.
They've taken that role as good as any senior class I've ever been around. Now, we voted for captains last night, and Miles Burris was one of the captains. Ryan was one of the captains. And then J.J. Atelli, who is a defensive end on our team, is a captain, too. Voted by their teammates, which is a great honor.
You bet.
But our senior class has done a great job.
Cal Poly. Aztec fans, I know you get kind of a, ooh. No, not Cal Poly. No. Those were long days. I broadcast those two in 06 and 08, 2-point losses both times. And shockingly, but you know Rich Ellerson, who's now at Army, you'll see him later in the season, and he had that multiple offense, man. They were good.
They are good.
Yeah.
I mean, they're good now, too. I mean, they've got running backs that play Division I, and we're really good at the Division I level. They have an outstanding young quarterback that's a very athletic guy. They got a defensive back on their team that's supposed to be a first-round draft choice. He's also their kick and punt returner. And the fans don't have to get nervous, because I'm nervous enough for all of us, because I've watched both those games that happened in 2006 and 2008.
Right.
They're obviously plenty good enough to beat us, but it's more important how we play. It's not who we're playing against. I don't think it's ever who we're playing against. It's how important for us to play well. If we play well, everything will be fine. If we don't play well, and I hope there's no curse involved in this deal, but if we don't play well, we're going to be in trouble. And now we just got to go out and play well.
And you would admit there are easier openers in terms of teams like that, especially because it's not a name that people think, wow, big time Division I, and that's going to be hard. They assume a win. And that's hard for a new head coach to go into. I'm not speaking for you, but it seems to me that way, that's with the history of it. And a club that you're expected to win, coaches know better than that. There are no expectations. Boom, we win.
Well, I think nationally people might say, well, it's just Cal Poly.
Yeah.
But hopefully in this town they don't say it's just Cal Poly, because they've experienced some things that have changed their minds. Cal Poly's a good team. And like you said, I wish we were playing someone not quite as good.
Sure.
So that we could get better without worrying about losing. But our players are confident, and hopefully they'll go in the game confident. And like I said again, no one else has to be nervous, because I'm nervous enough for all of us.
I understand that. I wanted to ask you that because of those in the scrimmage and the family day. It's hard. It's like in baseball. Can't they not hit, or just the good pitching stop the hitting? But in terms of your offense against the defense, when the offense doesn't work, is it because the defense is so good? That's a hard tell, isn't it?
You can't tell.
Yeah.
In those scrimmages, the offense was, I thought, was good. They didn't score as often as people want them to score. So now you go back and say, was the defense good enough, or too good? Or, I mean, it's never too good. But I thought the offense moved the ball pretty well in those scrimmages. They just didn't get in the end zone as much as most people like. Now, I'm a defensive guy.
I understand.
So that's okay. But people want to see points scored, and I understand that.
Rocky Long, it is people, the level, the bar is up. And you were a big part of that bar being up in a 9-4 season, like I said, and could have won all the others. Missouri, I won't even get into all that stuff had them beaten, all that stuff, and then BYU. Congratulations on that. I know it's past. Best of luck with Cal Poly in this season. We're all looking forward to it.
Thanks. We are too.
Amen. That's Rocky Long. His quarterback he mentioned, by the way, number 14. There aren't too many better ones than Ryan Lindley. In the history of this university, it's turned out so many. And throughout the country, number 14 will be with us here shortly as Aztecs Now moves on.
Rayhan baseline for 3, got it! Here come the Aztecs. Alley-oop to Jamal Franklin. Slam dunk.
Don't stop believing.
Aztecs Now coming off 9-4, and a lot of it is his responsibility, and I congratulate you, Ryan Lindley. I mean, it was a magical year. I don't mean to dwell in the past, as people say. You got a big game coming up with Cal Poly, but 3,800 yards and 28 touchdowns, and could have, you know, I go back to that. I mentioned that to Coach Long. Could have won them all. Yeah. I mean, nobody pushed you guys around.
Yeah, I mean, it was like you said. I think magical is a good word for it.
Yeah.
It was a special year. A special way to send those seniors out. Guys that have been through a lot of coaching changes, a lot of turnover, and they finished it right. And that's kind of, they set the bar high for us, and us as a senior group want to raise it even higher. And it just that's how you build a dynasty. You just do that year after year and make a better team every year.
Is it difficult now? Al was here. Play calling, what I thought was marvelous. It was creative. Coach Ludwig has had tremendous, I mean, my gosh, Brian Johnson at Utah and has had great teams and great success, and offensive coordinator, Utah, with those teams, and then Cal last year. How different is it? And it's got to be tough. I mean, you start with a new offensive coordinator, it's difficult, and you got another one.
Yeah, I mean, it's I think you can look at it two different ways. It's either a blessing or a curse. I'm looking at it that I get to kind of pick another guy's mind on the game of football.
Sure.
Just get to know what he thinks and how he runs things, different play calling. I think that's the biggest thing, just getting used to knowing what he wants to run and different things like that. And we'll be on the same page, and I think we've built a pretty good relationship over the spring and the fall. In
terms of picking up where you guys were, are the numbers, the terminology, is this a different offense, or it's the same offense, but Coach Ludwig's got a little bit of tweak here and there?
I think that's exactly it. He's tweaked it. He's brought his personality, a little bit of flavor, what he's had success with in the past, and he's basically used our personnel to what he thinks is going to do best for us. I think that's what any offensive coordinator needs to do year in, year out, and I think that's what anybody would have done with the changeover we had. You know, we're stronger in the box. We got good tight ends, good running backs, and we got these young receivers that are going to be great players. Just right now, they need to gain experience, kind of learn what it's like to play Division I football.
That's my question, Ryan, because we talked to Coach Long. Got a half a dozen tight ends who could start for anybody.
Yeah.
But when you lose a Vincent Brown to DeMarco Sampson, and both those guys are going to make their NFL teams, is what I hear, and I ain't a bit surprised. And then Dominic Sandifer goes down. Should Aztec fans feel okay that you're going to have the receivers that you need, and from the get-go against Cal Poly?
Yeah, and I think if anything, it could help those guys. I think they're going to be guys that fly under the radar for the first couple of weeks. You'll see them make some plays. But like I said, the biggest thing with them is consistency. We want to see those receivers come in. They're going to be young, not a whole lot of experience. Just get in the game and make plays when they need to. They don't need to do anything spectacular. We got Ronnie Hillman, we got Gavin Escobar, Austin. We got those guys to do those things, and we want those guys just to make that play when we call their number. And I think they'll be able to do that play in, play out, and week in, week out.
Ryan, and don't be modest with me. Don't be modest, number 14. How much better are you from now to when last season began? If you can evaluate yourself, and you look on film, you see yourself, you see practices, they're filmed. How much better are you?
I think it's night and day. I think anybody tell you that. Coach Borders told me that last year. I think a turning point for me was probably the Missouri game last year. It was one where it was rough for me. I played pretty bad, about as bad as you can play, and you just kind of, when you have something like that, I think it just like in the losses, you learn a lot more from that than you learn from a win. And I think for me that was a rough one to swallow, and it just kind of lit the fire underneath me, and now I think we've just improved every week. And that's offense as a whole. We got a great offensive line and a group of guys that really go hard and bust it every play.
Were you happy with your play? When you're 9-4, it's all about winning. And like we said, you won 9, easily could have won all the others. Were you happy with the way you played or not?
Yeah, I think overall I was pretty happy. I think we got better, and especially as an offense, we got better week in, week out. And it's something that I think just to take that in, just to continue to do that, we'll become a better team this year too.
You know, of course, I mentioned this with Coach. Got to beat Cal Poly. 2 losses to them. Cannot lose the opener. That's a lot of pressure on you too.
I think, you know what, pressure makes diamonds. I heard Keenan Cardell say that when I was in high school, and I've stuck to it. I think anybody who can't handle pressure isn't built for the game of football or sports in general. I think if you're a competitor, you thrive on the pressure. And I think any opening game, there's pressure with it too.
Sure.
There's a little bit of uncertainty, I guess you could say. But it's just something that you want to go out there and you want to put your best foot forward. You want to start the season out right and just show people that it's going to be exciting out there.
Ryan, good to see you again, man. Congratulations on last year, and everybody stay healthy. Looking forward to a great season.
Thank you.
Ryan Lindley, we will continue here with Aztecs Now. Kat Walker, by the way, I don't know if you know her, but a couple of ACLs, nah, no big deal. No big deal. Still back. still playing soccer, a profile of Kat, when we come on back on Aztecs Now. If you follow women's soccer, then you know San Diego State's got some teams and got some talent. And Kat Walker, who got hurt again, is back. Wasn't sure she wanted to come back for a 6th year, but she's made that decision. And Mike Friesen is very glad that she made that decision. Here's a report on Kat and Aztec soccer with my colleague Mike Costa.
It was the summer of 2010, and Aztec midfielder Kat Walker had just come off an amazing season. The junior had scored the game-winning goal in the conference tournament final against BYU to send her team to the NCAA tournament.
Kat Walker now left-footed, drive it in!
She took home nearly every award imaginable, including the Conference Offensive Player of the Year. But then, one of the worst things that can happen to an athlete happened.
And I was actually playing in Boston for the summer on like a semi-pro league, and it was just a unfortunate collision that I'm sure I've been in 100 times before, and she got me good and tore it, and I was out for all year.
After having missed the entire 2007 season with an injury, Walker had to call head coach Mike Friesen and deliver the bad news.
I was actually on a family vacation, and I had never been to the campus of Notre Dame, so we had driven on the campus at Notre Dame, and I was standing on the soccer field at Notre Dame and got a call from Kat, and answered it and started talking, and she said, well, I've got some bad news.
I put it off at least a week because I got hurt, got the MRI, and then my doctor actually went out of town for a week, so I was on hold for a week of getting my MRI read. I finally called him, and I just said, Coach Mike, I have some news for you. And he goes, oh gosh, don't tell me. And he goes, yeah, I knew something was wrong because he had checked the box scores and I wasn't playing, so it was pretty much awful.
Walker then had a decision to make. Friesen offered her to come back for a 6th year in 2011, one in which he would have one of the most talented and deep teams since becoming head coach. But she wasn't sure she wanted to go through what would be her 6th year of college.
That was probably one of the hardest decisions, just because I already felt kind of detached from the team, just from already being a 5th year and then being hurt. I wasn't traveling, so I felt like I wasn't sure if I wanted to come back to a team that I knew but didn't really know. I didn't play with a lot of them, so it was hard. It was really hard, but I ended up thinking it was best for the program and best for me to come back, because I felt that if I didn't finish my 4 years, I would have left something undone and maybe regretted it in the end.
After deciding to come back, Walker didn't hesitate to assume the role of leader and get the team ready for the 2011 season.
I've been around long enough at this point that I kind of know how things work and what the team needed, what the program needed to be best this year. So I think getting together earlier in the summer than we ever had before really gave the team a head start on the camaraderie and then how we're playing on the field.
Now with a talented roster and Walker at the helm, Friesen's Aztecs have been picked to win the Mountain West Conference in 2011. I'm Mike Costa for Aztecs Now.
Kat Walker, thank you, Mike. Well done. Again, the Aztecs, tough opener, not in terms of name, but in terms of a very, very good team with that multiple offense that gave them a whole lot of trouble. Man, it was brutal in 06 and 08. It's got to be better. Got to be better. 7 o'clock at the stadium. Tickets available to goaztecs.com. And my thanks to Ryan Lindley and for Coach Rocky Long. Again, that game is on the Mountain Network. You can see it here at Channel 4. I'll have the radio broadcast on AM 600 Kogo. This is Aztecs Now for the first week of this much-anticipated 2011 Aztec football season. Thanks for watching.